Well, happy Monday, everybody. Here we are. We're going to be talking about time. Have you ever heard somebody say on a sales call or a discovery call, whatever you choose to call it, oh, I just don't have enough time? Well, when the kids go back to school, when I don't have to homeschool the kids, when my husband gets the next promotion, when this big event actually happens, I will. If you've ever heard any version of the time objection, you are going to love this particular show. So I am just so excited to bring this for you, to share this information with you. And this all came about because I was on a private call with one of my private clients, and we were just talking about, and this is a common one that I share, that I actually talk about with a lot of my clients, is, yeah, the sales call didn't go well because it was this objection or it was that objection. And I just felt that it was really important to come on here and talk about this. So, number one, I am just coming live right here in my group, Entrepreneurs Making an Impact. Once this is finished, I will actually upload this to my business page, because I was just thinking, like, this is just going to make it a little bit easier. So if you are watching live, let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching the replay, let me know where you're watching from. And if you are new to my group, I just want to say, hey, welcome. And this is the Monday Facebook Live show that I do every Monday at noon. So today we're going to be chit-chatting about the time objection, but I also want to share with you that I am going to be doing, backed by popular demand, the free training called Crack Like Content so good it's addicting. And that training is going to be Tuesday, September 8th. That's when that begins. So you can sign up for that at speakandstandout.com/content-training. And I will make sure that I actually invite members. Done. So hopefully this is, I will make sure that I put that in the comments. So wherever you're like watching from, just let me know. How's your summer going? Have you had an opportunity to listen to the podcast? I am so enjoying recording episodes, and I've got some great ones that are lined up that are coming up also. And if you don't mind, I'm just going to make sure that this is in the Facebook group. Let's see. Okay, good. Okay, so let's move on with the time excuse. And I'm calling it an excuse because really what it is, it's an objection. But when we peel back the layer of the objection, it's really an excuse. It's the, I don't want to get visible. Or maybe you're afraid that nobody will sign up for your offer. Or maybe it's, I'm afraid to start my business. It's the, this is a big one. And this one I might actually have to explain a little bit. It's the, I don't trust myself to make this decision. I don't trust myself to make this decision. And that can be a little hard to hear. And the reason why, and I think that there are all sorts of reasons why we don't trust ourselves to make these decisions, to say yes to the coach, to say yes to the program, to say yes to showing up for yourself and getting visible. Lots and lots of reasons. And here's just kind of like a simple question. As I peek over there at my bookcase, have you ever bought a book that you didn't finish? Have you ever bought somebody's program that you didn't finish? Have you ever joined a gym and you didn't continue to go? You know, these are like little like micro moments where we almost let ourselves down. And the reason why I say we let ourselves down is we look at it and say, like, let's just say, for example, your monthly gym membership bill get automatically charged to your credit card, or maybe the money gets taken out of your bank account. And it's like, I didn't go. I didn't go at all this month, or I only went like once or twice. And let's just like take out like this whole global pandemic, because I realize that that could be the reason why you haven't been going. But let's just say it's like life is normal and you haven't been going to and so we look at that, we look at the charge like on our credit card, and we say, I told myself that I was going to go. Like I joined the gym and I said that I was going to go 3 times a week. And this past month, I only went once a week. So we start to get a little hard on ourselves. Like, I can't even go to the gym 3 times a week to show, like what makes me think that I can show up show up for myself in this business idea that I have, or show up for myself to actually scale my business, to kick it up a notch. Like I've got a couple of clients and this is going really well, and I can't seem to, like, if I can't show up for the gym, how am I going to show up for more clients? And that's just one example. You bought a book that you were like, this is the book that is going to change things. And then you didn't read past the second chapter. And then you're like cleaning your desk, and you find the book and it's like, oh yeah, you've got some pages that are dog-eared. And it's like, oh yeah, this was the book that I really wanted, I waited for, and it was like I was gonna read this. And again, I let myself down. So it's these little micro moments that we interpret as, I wasn't good enough, I didn't show up for myself to read the book, I didn't show up for myself to go to the gym. So then we start using the I don't have time, because all of these little things that happen in our past. So we slowly, like, you probably don't even call it that I don't trust myself, but that's kind of what it comes down to. And my job as a business coach is actually to see that for people and to help them uncover it, so it's like, hey, this is just a trust thing. Let's work on building your trust with yourself. And that can show up as, hey, you're gonna put out regular content. Like, and if you were just starting out in this new business model, like I would, let's just say like you hired me and you're just starting out, like we would put some things in place for your foundation so that you feel really confident. I know what content it is that I'm going to be writing about. I know what problems I'm going to be solving. I know what kind of clients, I need to be working with. And then we move on from there. You start showing up for yourself on a regular basis. A lot of times, like one of my big things to help my clients with is to, let's pick a platform that you're going to shine on. Okay, this is going to be your platform. Instead of, a lot of times my private clients come to me and they're just like, who have already got businesses, and they're like, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Pinterest, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm doing YouTube. They're like all these different places. And it's like, whoa, I don't want you to be everywhere. Let's just find 1 or 2 platforms that we can shine on and maybe repurpose that material elsewhere. So we build on things, and that's how we start to build trust with ourselves. If, let's just say your goal was to go to the gym 5 days a week. Wow, 5 days a week, and you're just like, I can't even like get there like once a week. Well, let's find some time in your schedule. Let's start scheduling it in, and maybe you schedule twice a week. Twice a week that you go to the gym. 1 day a week, you're just going outside and you're taking a walk. Show up for yourself and you start showing and proving to yourself that I can do this, that I make room in my calendar. And when the family says, hey, but mom, I need to be driven to, it's like, I can bring you after when I come back from the gym, or after when I come back from my walk. And you start showing up for yourself. That builds trust within yourself. So that time objection, as a business coach, when I hear that, it's my job, okay, as a coach, just to, hey, let's talk about that. Let's talk about, like, if you don't have time now, when will you have time to do it? That was actually the cover, the title of a book, and it was all on like time management. If you don't have time to do it right the first time, when will you have time to do it again, to redo it? So if you don't have time now, what makes you think in a month or 2 months down the road that you'll have time for it? So my job, as the coach, is just to be able to see it and to be able to shine a light on what a client is using that's holding them back. Because trust me, if you're using time, and this is what I always say to them, if you're using time, like, I don't have time for this, well, then it's obviously not that important to you. But having my own business really is important to me. Oh, okay. Let's find the time. Let's build that into your schedule. And I had one client say to me, but I feel like I'm going to have to sacrifice one thing for another. I'm going to have to, if I build this business, I'm going to have to sacrifice my family time. If I make time for this business, this dream that I have, I'm going to have to sacrifice my career, my corporate job, and like moving up the corporate ladder and getting promotions, or finishing out like a program. Um, and to be able to see that. So sometimes what I have to do as a coach is just to help people see, like, let's build a container that feels good. So here's what I mean about the container. They've done studies on small children and playgrounds with no fence, and playgrounds with fences around them. And what they have found, and this is just fascinating, and I'll kind of explain the interpretation of this, is that playgrounds without a fence, the children huddle in the middle where all the playground equipment is, and they just stay in this little area. When the playgrounds have a fence around them, and this still all the playground equipment is still in the center, the children actually play in the entire fenced in area. So when we don't, what this means to me, like as a business coach, and what I share with my clients is, like, when we know what the boundaries are, when we know what the container is that you're building your business in, then like, this is what I have to work with. So for example, let's just say Mondays from 9 to 10:30 is when you write all of your social media content for, let's say it's for the following week. It could be just that week. But if you get distracted with phone calls, okay, you're going to eat away at that 90 minutes. So if you just say to yourself, well, when I sit down sometime on Monday mornings and I write my content, and when I'm finished, I'm finished. Okay, and so there's no boundary around that, and neurologically, your brain's like, oh, well, let's just wait till I'm motivated. Let's go get another cup of coffee before we sit down. Maybe I should listen to a podcast, and before you know it, it's 2 p.m, and you're like, I gotta go get the kids. I said I was gonna write the content, so that's why sometimes building a business can become, oh my God, I'm working all the time, versus let's build your business with a container. And that's how I help my clients, overcome this time objection, because we're going to make a container for building your business. And trust me, when you have a container, in 90 minutes, this is my only time slot to write content for the week. I have to get it done. So then you start to put your phone on Do Not Disturb. You get right down to work. You start typing. You teach your brain neurologically. It's like, this is content writing time. I've got 90 minutes, and you go to town. And you start to teach your brain, your body, and trusting yourself, because you're showing up for yourself in that 90 minutes. You start to do that work. And trust me, you start training yourself to do this. And what happens is that you'll actually start writing your content faster. It'll be higher quality, because that's what you've taught yourself. You train yourself to do this. So that's just like how I help clients, potential clients, overcome the time objection. And if you're one of my private clients and you show up on one of our calls with, the sales call didn't go well because of they felt like they were too busy in their life. Well, they obviously got on the call with you. And so, but but that's just what I share with them. Is like, here's how to handle that. Now let's do the follow-up email and address it. You know, because just because you don't handle it well on the first sales call doesn't mean that there aren't. It doesn't mean that it's no forever. Let me repeat that. Just because somebody says no and you didn't handle the objections correctly or eloquently, as I like to say, it doesn't mean no forever. So, but maybe you're having trouble getting sales calls. I want to help you out. Having those bookings. If you're not booking enough calls or if you're not handling those objections well, I want to encourage you to get on one of my book more calls assessment. And during this assessment, there are 3 things that we will go over. One is there are 3 core areas. One is, are you attracting the right client? And how are you attracting the right client? So that's super important. Are you positioning yourself as the expert? Because buyers, customers, clients hire experts to solve their problems. And if you don't feel like an expert, you are an expert, okay? And you've probably heard me say this before in other Facebook Lives, being an expert is just being a few steps ahead of somebody else that you are able to help. So that's the second one. And the third one is, do you have a solution to solve someone's problem, solve someone's pain? A process for doing that. It's so important to have a specific process and to feel really confident in that process, as well. So that's my book more calls assessment, and I'm going to make sure that I type that down here in the comment section. Let's see, it is chatwithla.com. And that is the link that will get you to my book more calls assessment. And again, we're going to go over those 3 core areas. So I want to encourage you to snag one of those calls. And then don't forget, Crack Like Content is coming up in a couple of weeks, and it is going to be spectacular because you want to be writing content that is so good, it's addicting. So if you've got any questions, if you're watching the replay, just type them down below. And let me know if you have any questions. Tag me, and I will be sure to swing back by and answer your questions. And till next week, have a great week.